Hey, social workers, Nicki Sanders here with Nicki Sanders Leadership Consulting. And today we are going to talk about emotional wellness. October is Emotional Wellness Month. It's also Emotional Intelligence and Awareness Month. And we are going to combine those two things together. I want to give you a couple of quick stories just to highlight the importance of emotional wellness. So emotional wellness, first of all, is the ability to adapt to life's stresses, changes, to be flexible, to find balance when things get difficult. It is eliminating and reducing the stressors in your life, people, places, and things, so that you can regulate your emotions and live productively for the most part, right? That's my definition, not the dictionary definition. And so it looks like lots of different things. It looks like being able to successfully manage your relationships. It looks like being able to engage in and connect in healthy ways or have healthy relationships. It looks like being able to make smart decisions and decisions not out of fear and desperation. It looks like balance. So balance is what we are striving for. So a couple of weeks ago, probably about 6 or 7 kind of urgent, not crises, but urgent things happened all at the same time, which a couple of them could have turned out a little bit, could have gone south, right, really quickly. And one of them had to do with a medical issue. And so I handled all of those things, everything in about a 20-minute span, made sure everything was okay. And after everything was over and everyone was gone, I was unable to do a very simple task, which was just lock a door that I had unlocked an hour before, and I had locked and unlocked dozens of times. But emotionally, I was so wired and I had suppressed those emotions while I was dealing with those crises that I couldn't calm myself enough just to lock that door. That has happened to me before. My running joke used to be, my emotions are like a jack in the box. I never know when they're going to pop up. So if any of you are old enough to remember those jack in the box toys, you heard the music, you were turning, you felt anxiety because you never know when the jack in the box was going to pop up. And so that was an example of my emotions popping up after I had suppressed them for 20 or 30 minutes. And that looks different ways, right? So in the workplace, as I've been talking about workplace wellness, as I've been talking about multiple generations in the workplace, it's extremely important that you are not the problem in the workplace because of the unregulated emotions. So if people are saying things like, you are so extra, remember I used to work with teenagers, you are so extra, or it's not that serious. And I'm not talking about people gaslighting you. I'm talking about you really overreacting to small occurrences or not being able to adapt and adjust to changes in your schedule or things like that. That's something that we want to take a look at, not just in our clients, not just in our staff, but also in ourselves, especially if you're in a leadership position at home or at work, right? Your emotions really kind of dictate the culture and the atmosphere for the environment that you're in. You are creating it top down. So in terms of emotional wellness and your emotional intelligence, don't be the barrier. Don't be the backup. Think about the things that you can do to reduce your stress, to engage in healthy connections. If you need to leave a toxic workplace, leave the toxic workplace. If you need to leave the toxic relationship, leave the toxic relationship. If you need to advocate for yourself, advocate for yourself. Self-care is so much more than bubble baths and manis and petties, right? Shopping sprees. Emotional wellness is a part of self-care. So I want you to take care of yourself during this emotional wellness month. Let it be a reminder that you get to disconnect, focus on you, that you get to disconnect, prioritize yourself, that you get to disconnect and pour back into you, because you really can't pour from an empty cup. So let's stop trying. Let's seek balance, emotional wellness, And actually, let me say this. I realized a couple of weeks ago, like, I don't have a hobby anymore, right? That is a part of my balance. So we can talk about mindfulness, eating right, exercising. Clearly, spending time outdoors in nature helps. But I realized that I don't have a true hobby. And so I'm thinking about what that is going to be. Haven't made any decisions yet. So if you have some recommendations, surely you can let me know. But do you have a hobby? Do you have a hobby? When is the last time you rested? When is the last time that you did something for yourself? When is the last time that you sat in peace and quiet for 5 minutes? When is the last time that you just paused and focused on you? Mindfulness, meditation, music, prayer, all of those things help us manage our emotional wellness. So let's not ignore them. And I'm going to give you this example, which seems a little extreme, but it's actually not. And because I've been talking about multiple generations in the workplace, this is a very Gen Z thing. Gen Z, Gen X. I am definitely Gen X. So this is a very Gen X thing. When we think about Gen X as being super independent and latchkey kids, parents who were the first generation of parents who quote unquote got divorced, right? All of those things feed into who we are as individuals, not excuses, just shaped our emotional well-being and who we are today, unless you have actively worked to do something that is beneficial for you that kind of alleviates those things. So when I turned 40 that year, I had very significant deaths. April, May, July, August, 2 in September. And so that last September death was the death of a very good friend's father. And I ended up going to his funeral on the wrong day. I showed up at the church a week earlier. That is not emotional balance. That is not emotional wellness. I've been putting that grief aside, and it showed up that day sitting in the parking lot by myself. Like, why is nobody here? Did I miss the funeral? Am I too early for the funeral? I just didn't know what was actually going on. And so I had to stop and pause and recollect my thoughts, get control of my emotions, and really decide how I was going to move forward after that moment, because that was extremely eye-opening and for me. And it was something that I never wanted to experience again. So is there a thing that you have been ignoring? Is there a thing that you need that you haven't given yourself? Is there a way that you can prioritize yourself and your emotional wellness so you show up differently in the workplace? It impacts your relationships, it impacts your career advancement, it impacts all of those things. So we are going to focus on our emotional wellness this month and our emotional intelligence. So that means that we are also being aware of what's happening with other people emotionally, not taking it on, but just emotional intelligence is about our awareness of other people. We are going to be proactive and not reactive, and we are going to dedicate time to pouring back into ourselves, starting in October, but happening every month. So this is your starting point. Ready, set, go. This is Nicki Sanders with Nicki Sanders Leadership Consulting. Thanks for joining me on More Than Social Work with Nicki Sanders. I will see you again for the next video. Go out and check the others. Like, comment, share. Let me know if there are other things that you want me to talk about in terms of workplace wellness, multiple generations in the workplace, advancing your social work career, or just being a successful social worker and what that looks like for you. All right, let me take my walk. See you later. Bye.